Okay, we are officially streaming live via YouTube. My name is Judge Tamika West Bernard. I'm presiding over the criminal preliminary hearing calendar for today. We have resumed our proceedings. We have one more hearing that's on the calendar for today. 1 minute, please. And I'm going to officially call that. Going to be the state of Georgia versus Jarrell Parler. And then I'm going to give the warrant numbers, and then I'll proceed forward with the testimony. Mr. Parley has been charged with dangerous drug container, warrant number 2023WA09556. There's also warrant number 2023WA09557 for the charge of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. There's a second count for violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, warrant number 2023WA09558. There's a weapon charge, possession of a weapon during a crime, warrant number 2023WA09560. In addition, there's use or possession of drug-related items charge, warrant number 2023WA09562. And then also possession of marijuana less than an ounce, warrant number 2023WA09566. That will conclude the charges pending against Mr. Parler. The state will be represented by ADA Cheryl Freeman. The defendant, Mr. Parler, is represented by Attorney Jonathan Oden. With that said, ADA Freeman, you're ready to call your first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Officer Milligan, would you raise? I'm sorry. Officer Milligan, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm that the testimony about to provide in the matter of state of Georgia versus Jarrell Parler will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I swear.
You can lower your hand. Thank you. Please tell us your name and how you're employed.
Officer Micah Milligan, Clayton County Police Department.
How long have you worked with the Clayton County Police Department?
Coming up on 3 years.
Sir, were you working with the Clayton County Police Department on May 31st of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
On that particular day, did you have occasion to arrest Mr. Jarrell Parler?
Yes, ma'am.
Did that arrest take place on Tara Boulevard near North Main Street in Jonesboro?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am.
What brought about this arrest of Mr. Parler?
The incident originated as a traffic stop for speeding. To kind of fast forward through all the traffic charges because they don't pertain to Mr. Parler. The vehicle ended up being inventoried and impounded due to the registration and unknown insurance status of the vehicle. During the inventory, I located some marijuana in the center console, which prompted me to identify the passengers, one of which was Mr. Parler, which changed my inventory to a probable cause search. There was, during the identification phase, learned that he had a active warrant out of Riverdale PD. There was additional contraband located inside of a book bag that he had over his shoulder, along with some contraband that was in the possession of the driver and the passenger, which no one wanted to take ownership of. So the driver, passenger, and Mr. Parler ended up with the charges.
Officer Milligan, if you recall, where was Mr. Parler sitting in the vehicle?
He was the rear passenger.
Just so I'm clear, you stated that Mr. Parler had a book bag over his shoulder?
Correct. He upon being informed by me that the vehicle would be impounded, prior to me conducting the inventory, I instructed them to remove any valuable items from the vehicle prior to me conducting the inventory. Once the contraband was located and it prompted a probable cause search, then I started identifying the passengers along with the driver, which I had already obtained her information. The additional contraband was located, part of which was in a book bag that he had over his shoulder. He claimed that he did not know what was in the book bag. He only removed it from the vehicle due to the instructions of remove the valuable items because of the impound.
After you instructed the individuals to remove any valuable items, Mr. Parler grabbed the book bag. Is that correct?
From my understanding, yes. He was already outside of the vehicle. I can't say 100% what exactly he did or where he grabbed it from, because my focus was not on like solely on him at that time. But once I learned of the contraband and started identifying the passengers, the front passenger was who I identified second. Mr. Parler was who I identified last. So at that point, the book bag was over his shoulder.
If you could, Officer Milligan, tell us the drugs that you located and where the drugs were found.
There was Adderall located on the driver, MDMA located in the passenger's hand, the front passenger's hand, additional marijuana, a scale, rolling papers, and a firearm located in the book bag that Mr. Parler had on.
Based on your training and experience, Officer Milligan, the scale that was located in this book bag, when looking at that scale along with the other items found, what did that indicate to you?
It was a small black digital scale that, through my training, knowledge, and experience, would be used to weigh marijuana or other controlled substances.
Where was the firearm located?
In the book bag.
Did you locate any type of identifying information in that book bag?
No.
But this was the bag that Mr. Parler was holding.
Yes.
Did the other passengers make any statements regarding the contraband that was found?
The only contraband that was claimed was the small amount of marijuana that was in the center console, which was claimed by the driver. None of the other contraband, the drug-related objects, the MDMA, the marijuana, none of that, the firearm, none of it was claimed by anyone.
Was there any contraband? I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting it. I'm getting confused. Any contraband found in the backpack that Mr. Parler had on?
The marijuana, the scale, and the rolling papers and the firearm were inside the backpack.
Okay. The MDMA, did I hear you correctly when you said that was in the front seat passenger's hand?
Yes, ma'am. Which she claimed, which she just removed from the vehicle, but she advised that it was not hers. It did not belong to her.
How was it packaged?
It was in a clear, small plastic baggie.
She just had it. She was just holding it in her hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Who did the car belong to?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you.
Okay.
That kind of rolled into all the traffic charges that I had on the driver.
Okay. Other than the statement that he just grabbed the book bag, did Mr. Parler make any additional statements regarding what was found in the vehicle?
From my recollection, he claimed that he was unaware of any of the substances present, and that they didn't belong to him.
Okay.
Him and the front passenger did at one point during the incident advise that they had only known the driver for a short period of time, if I'm not mistaken, a day or so. So I don't know the actual extent of their relationship, but
Okay. Did all this happen in Clayton County? I'm sorry?
I was just saying there was a lot of back and forth as the pointing fingers and this isn't mine, it's theirs, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Did this happen in Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am.
One second, Your Honor.
Okay.
Were the drugs field tested?
The MDMA was, yes, ma'am.
And what was the result of that field test?
It field tested positive.
You also mentioned that you located some Adderall.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know that was Adderall?
Based on the imprint on the pill, that was how I identified that one.
The marijuana that was located, how were you able to determine that that was marijuana?
Just, I mean, the odor of marijuana is a green leafy material. Based on my training, knowledge, and experience, it is marijuana.
The marijuana was less than an ounce?
Yes, ma'am. Marijuana was located in 2 different locations, just so that way I'm being 100% clear on that. There was a small amount located in the center console, and then there was another amount located in the backpack, both of which, even combined totaled, were less than an ounce.
The Adderall that was found, was it located in a proper prescription bottle?
No, ma'am. It was in a small clear plastic baggie like the MDMA was.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
Okay, Attorney Odin, your witness.
Thank you, Amber. Let me see if I understand. You found less than an ounce of marijuana in the book bag, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you found a scale in the book bag, is that correct?
Yes, sir. A small black digital scale.
And you found a firearm in the book bag?
Yes, sir.
And what kind of firearm was that?
It's a 9mm Taurus, if I'm not mistaken.
And it seemed like there was one other item you found in the book bag. What was that?
Rolling papers.
And as I understand, you found MDMA in someone's hand,
Yes, sir.
and you charged Mr. Parler with that?
Yes, sir.
And the Adderall, where did you find that?
That was on the driver. That was in possession of the driver.
And you charged Mr. Parler with what was in the driver's possession too?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Because after speaking with all three subjects, the only piece of contraband that was claimed was the small amount of marijuana that was in the center console. No one wanted to claim the rest of the contraband, so they all shared the charge.
I see. And who claimed the small bag in the console?
The driver.
So would it be accurate to say that that was, if Mr. Parler had been charged with what you found in the bag, then it would have been legal for him to have the 9mm Taurus?
That's correct.
And the only reason he's charged with that gun charge is because of the illegal drugs that you found in possession of the other passengers.
Correct.
And of course, there's nothing against him having a scale in his book bag, if it was his book bag, is it?
I don't understand the question.
There's no law against having a scale in on your person.
If it's just a scale, I don't see why not.
Okay. And there's no law against having rolling paper on your person, is that correct?
By themselves, I don't see why not.
Okay. I have no further questions, Judge.
Okay, any redirect? I do have, I guess I'm a little confused, but if you want to go forward your redirect, and then let me just ask my few, because I'm a little confused.
Go ahead, Judge.
So according to the warrant, it's stated here that it says I located a small plastic bag which contained 2 oval-shaped pills that the offender advised were Adderall. So when it says offender, I guess I'm assuming it's Mr. Parler. So is that not Mr. Parler you're referring to?
No, I'm sorry, that was referenced in the driver.
Okay, so it was the driver and not the offender.
The driver stated that it was Adderall.
Okay, you do realize the warrant states offender.
I didn't. I apologize.
Okay, that's what I was a little confused about. And then secondly, it indicated that approximately 13 grams of MDMA was collected from the front passenger. That was consistent with your testimony. But then
Correct.
it states approximately 13.18 grams of marijuana was collected from the book bag located inside the vehicle, along with the 9mm Taurus and small digital scale and wrapping paper. So was the 13.1 grams of marijuana collected, was it from the book bag as indicated in the warrant?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then that book bag you said was in the possession of Mr. Parler?
Correct. Mr. Parler had the book bag, and he stated that the book bag came out of the vehicle.
Okay, but I don't see, was he charged for that possession? The 13.18 grams of marijuana?
Yes, I believe so.
It's on there, Judge. I have 2 pages of the WAA,
Okay.
and the second page does list the possession.
Okay, that's the less than an ounce.
That's an ounce.
Okay, that's what he's referring to. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, I believe those are my questions. You have any redirect?
Just one, I believe. Officer Milligan, just in your response to Attorney Oden, I think he would ask you a question. You would say something to the effect of yes, if that's all it is. You charged Mr. Parler with drugs not in the original container, possession of MDMA, possession of amphetamines, possession of a firearm during commission of a crime, possession of marijuana, and drug-related objects. Did you charge him based on the totality of everything that was located in that vehicle under these circumstances?
That is correct.
That's all I have, Judge.
Okay.
Just one
Yes, go ahead,
follow-up.
Attorney Oden.
Okay. But in reality, these items weren't found. The drugs, the felony drugs weren't found in the vehicle. The Adderall was in the possession of the driver. The MDMA was in the possession of the passenger. Is that correct?
At the time of them being located, yes, that is correct.
Okay. I have nothing further on.
Okay. I believe we're ready for, just let me clarify real quick here. Officer, where was the amphetamine found? Where was that found at in the vehicle?
The MDMA or the Adderall?
I guess is that the yeah, I guess the Adderall.
The Adderall was in possession of the driver.
Okay, just just want to make sure that was clear. Okay, I think we're ready for closings.
On the state ways opening.
Okay, Attorney Oden.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty clear that Mr. Parler couldn't be charged with possession of drugs that were in the possession of the driver or the passenger. That if in fact he was the owner of the bag that was in his possession, then he was in possession of less than an ounce of marijuana. And the officers testified that possession of a scale by Mr. Parler would not be illegal. Possession of a firearm in the bag would not be illegal. And possession of rolling papers would not be illegal. So I'd ask that, Your Honor, that all of the charges against Mr. Parler be dismissed, except the possession of marijuana less than an ounce.
Okay, ADA Freeman.
Thank you, Judge. We're asking all the charges be bound over to Superior Court. Officer Milligan has testified that based on his training and experience as a police officer, when looking at the totality of everything, that between the contraband that the driver had, that the front seat passenger had, looking at that Mr. Parler had the book bag, which had a firearm, it had a scale and rolling papers, that he felt it was appropriate to charge Mr. Parler with the VGCSA charges, as well as the drugs not in the original container. We're asking that you bind all of these charges over to Superior Court.
Okay. Okay. In light of the evidence here, I do not find sufficient probable cause to bind over warrant number 2023 WA09556, the dangerous drug container, since that was in the possession of the driver and not the offender, according to the officer testimony. Also, for warrant number 2023 WA09557, I do not find sufficient probable cause to bind over violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act with respect to the MDMA. I'm also dismissing warrant number 2023 WA09558, violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act for the amphetamine. However, I am binding over warrant number 2023 WA09560 for the possession of weapon during a crime and use and possession of drug-related items, warrant number 2023 WA09562, as well as warrant number 2023 WA09566, possession of marijuana less than an ounce. That is the order of the court today, and that will conclude the preliminary hearing for Mr. Parler.
Right, Judge, one I guess note on the possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, since we don't have a felony charge that is attached.
Okay, so
right.
I understand. So that'll be dismissed as well.
Thank you, Judge. And may Officer Milligan be excused?
Yes.
Thank you, Officer Milligan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Attorney Olden,
Thank you
for your presentation of the case.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I think that was our